I'm Adam Watson.
I'm Julian Watson.
This is the Dark Slayer Mafia Power Hour. Today we're taking a look at Wolverine issue number 58. Do you know who this character is?
No.
It's Terror Inc. So he has the weird ability that if he attaches anyone's body parts to him, he gets their powers, their memories, any of that kind of stuff.
Huh.
He's kind of a weird character that I don't know if they've used recently, but he had his own series there for a minute in the 90s. He's a cool character. He doesn't really seem like he fits within the Marvel pantheon of characters, as well as, like Wolverine or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Universal Soldiers ad?
It's right.
Have you watched that movie?
Yeah.
Did you like that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. But would that ad make you watch that movie? It doesn't really tell you shit about it beyond besides that Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren are in it.
Yeah.
So, story begins with Wolverine feeling sorry about the fact that Mariko is dead. I'm not sure how long ago she died in continuity in this particular comic. It feels like it happened quite a while ago, but maybe it didn't. Maybe I'm misremembering that. He's been working out in the danger room, but he needs to stab something for real because he's feeling bad. Seems normal, he's dealing with grief.
Yeah.
He overhears Professor Xavier talking to somebody who wants help in saving his daughter. This is where it kind of gets a little weird. You'd expect that if someone asked Professor X for his help saving their kid, he'd just do it, right?
Right.
He's a telepath. He could probably use Cerebro, zero in honor, do all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
But he refuses because he doesn't want to give away the secret that this is actually the school for the X-Men. Kind of weird in a way.
Yeah.
But it sets it up for Wolverine to intervene. He's heard it all. He knows he can go save this girl. He's not going to let Professor Xavier tell him what to do. And luckily for him, the guy left the scrapbook behind that has everything for his daughter. Like, that seems like a dumb thing for him to leave behind, but he's beside himself with grief, so, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Jubilee's running past him on the stairs because there's a shirtless Luke Perry doing an interview on TV. This is a problem with putting things that are popular in pop culture and the issues at the time. Anybody your age who's reading this in Epic or Omni or whatever format, even a back issue like this, you got any clue who Luke Perry is?
No.
Okay. He was a star on 90210 during this time period. But unfortunately for her, Wolverine has other plans. She's coming with him. I've always hated these advertisements.
Yeah.
You actually like the trading cards that they're for, but I don't know. They could have done something different here. The kids don't even look like they're looking at the Spider-Man image.
Yeah.
They look like they're looking past it. It's just a bad ad all around. So Wolverine and Jubilee end up in a bar in Oregon. Yeah, I've been in bars that look pretty much like this. I'll buy this as an Oregon bar. I'm fine with that. They're there because they believe the girl has been taken by a group of eco-terrorists. So that's not something you hear too much about anymore, I don't think.
Oh.
Are eco-terrorists still a thing? Like, they used to be. They'd go and they'd drive stakes into trees so that it would break chainsaws when a logger hit it. They'd spike tires. They commonly do damage. Sometimes they did things that were like, that's really damaging to the environment. Like they would set this stuff on fire. That they were doing excavation with, like excavators and bulldozers and stuff would be set on fire. And it's like, that's causing enormous irreparable damage. Like,
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that every time they did it, it's not going to keep the corporation from ordering a new bulldozer.
Yeah.
So you just cause two of this thing to exist, which has more environmental impact. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. You learn a lot about that when you grew up in the 90s around here about that kind of stuff because you're too young to know anything about the spotted owl, but there was a lot of eco-terrorism that was related to that. And then on the other hand, I had to hear all of these people around me all the time talking about how the loggers were more important than the spotted owls. And it's like, well, I don't agree with that either. You know, the owls need
Definitely
their
not.
habitats, but
Yeah.
yeah. So back to the comic though. Is Wolverine's hand drawn backwards here? Or is it just the way it's colored and inked?
Huh.
Yeah, I can't actually tell.
Yeah.
I stared at that for far too long.
Maybe.
I also didn't know it was Jubilee that was drawing here. I didn't know
Yeah.
Jubilee was an artist. That is a game I never hear anyone talk about.
Huh.
So, Wolverine and Jubilee make their way to the scene of the Eco-Terrorism, where this guy is apparently going to just blow up bulldozers. So, see, seeming like shit that I was telling you about right there.
Yeah.
And if you claim that they didn't do that shit, I worked at those job sites repairing glass and stuff. Trust me, eco-terrorists did in fact go in. Some of it was just wanton destruction of other people's equipment that probably had nothing to do with eco-terrorism.
Yeah.
You know, just people vandalizing and shit. But yeah, it was in fact real. So this issue is written by D.G. Chichester. I guess how you say that. Derek Robertson did the artwork for that. I wouldn't have guessed this was Derek Robertson's artwork.
Huh.
He hasn't fully come into his style quite yet. Or maybe they were wanting him to draw more like an artist at the time. Joe Rubenstein is the guest inker. Pat Brosseau is the letterer. Ariane is the colorist. Do you know who Derek Robertson is?
No.
Are you familiar with the look of the Boys comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Derek Robertson. He actually went on to do a fairly lengthy run of Wolverine. I think it was in like the early 2000s. Looks completely different than this does. This is probably the most Derek Robertson looking panel in the whole entire issue right here. Because he's known for doing these close-ups with weird fucked up teeth. So Wolverine keeps the guy from blowing himself up with the equipment. Apparently that was his plan. He was just gonna go ahead and off himself so that he didn't get captured. And while saving him, he uses his claws to bash away falling shrapnel. Not sure that Wolverine would be able to jump and grab this guy at the same rate the shrapnel's traveling, but it's a comic, so whatever, right? But apparently leaves himself open to this asswipe just kicking him right in the face. So they get into it, and then the guy throws himself on a piece of shrapnel. I also don't know that he would have died instantly if this hit him in like the chest or something, but we'll just go ahead and say it will, right?
Right.
Then Jubilee acts like a main character from Skyrim and takes a necklace off of the dead corpse. And Wolverine instantly knows that this tiny little wrench necklace is a part of their environmentalist cult. I do kind of get the impression that whoever wrote this might be slightly against environmentalists for some reason.
Yeah.
Because they do make them a little bit nuttier than what they probably need to.
Yeah.
They probably don't need a cult wrench necklace, but it's not a bad touch. So they then go to the morgue, and Wolverine needs to know about what this guy knew if he's seen the girl. And that's when Terror shows up. And despite the fact that Jubilee's on a team with people who have grotesque physical features, she's freaked out by this guy. You can tell because Derek Robertson drew her mouth so agape. Like, all in all, I actually like this drawing, but she does look a bit ridiculous. Terror looks really cool though. So Terror, like I said earlier, can get your memories from taking a part of your body and putting it into himself. In this instance, he puts the guy's eyeball into his own socket, and then he starts seeing all of his memories. So he then draws a better sketch of what Jubilee drew earlier, because apparently he has 5 fingers from an artist. Doesn't go into detail about who that artist was, and is impressed by Jubilee's drawing which freaks her out because she thinks he's just going to take body parts off her now. I would think the same thing if I were her.
Yeah.
I don't know where Jubilee saw those guys that she was drawing them, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem to explain that. So then Wolverine gets into one of his trademark poses. You actually have to draw Wolverine like this in a 90s issue of Wolverine at least one time. Because somebody showed up. I've literally never seen anybody with these shirts. I wonder how much they go for these days. I have seen a guy at a comic convention wearing that one.
Oh.
But not these two. A lot of these old shirts go for like mega money now. So turns out that the reason they all look so surprised when they turned around and got into battle action poses is because Monkey Wrench and his gang are here. Monkey Wrench on his... Okay, so these eco-terrorists look like supervillains, right?
Yeah.
And they have two little people on their team that are named Paul and Bunyan. I just don't know that was that well thought out. Like,
No.
Why are they? What? And their names are Paul and Bunyan? What? Yeah. So Monkey Wrench uses his power of throwing wrenches that are not monkey wrenches, by the way,
No.
directly at Jubilee and Terror. I don't think Jubilee has any increased like skull density.
No.
So that could have just given her a concussion. And then he's able to grab his sledgehammer with lightning fast reflexes and whack Wolverine over the head with it. This guy is probably the most effective supervillain we've ever seen in any of his issues. He's got Bullseye's ability when it comes to wrenches. And then he can just like, his reflexes are faster than Wolverine's with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And then we get to see Wolverine in his second trademark pose that he must be drawn in every single 90s comic. I think this one was actually popularized in the 80s,
Oh.
but it carried over to the 90s. It must be done in the 90s as well. So Wolverine starts chasing him after he makes his trademark pose. And then gets blown up because Monkey Wrench uses sledgehammer to drive stakes, like I told you before, how they would stake trees.
Yeah.
But somehow has made his stakes explosive. I'm not sure how that works. Okay, why not? I mean, I'm not really sure how Jubilee shoots fireworks from her fingers, so sure, I can believe this. Why not? And then Paul and Bunyan go to saw Jubilee in half, but accidentally get Terror instead. It's all right, though, because he's been looking for new legs. His are all getting necrotic and gross. There is a Malibu character that's somewhatly similar to this guy.
Oh.
His name's Ghoul. I think his power set is kind of similar, if I remember right. He becomes a member of Ultra Force. This game is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite arcade games from when I was a kid. This is actually going to be included in the new Marvel collection
Oh, nice.
that's coming out. They're coming out with like one of the anthology collections or whatever that has like 5 or 6 games on it, and that's going to be one of them.
Oh.
So Terror finds a fresh corpse that he's going to take some body parts off of. I don't really know what he looks for in corpses exactly, but I do love the way that Derek Robertson has drawn him here.
Yeah.
It would be kind of funny if he all of a sudden had like long lady legs. Like if they made it really cartoony like in the old cartoons, you know? But
Yeah.
And then these two with pickaxes, I don't remember their names, come after Wolverine. They look the most supervillain-esque, but he handles them quite easily. They're just chumps. Then Paul and Bunyan come towards Jubilee, and she puts down little people around the world. and then shoots them with plasma fireworks. Like, listen to her dialogue. No one talks about me like I'm a piece of meat. And they were being misogynistic little pricks. Least of all, midgets with a bandsaw and attitudes. So I do wonder if Jubilee has any problems with Puck from Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
Surely she's met him at this point. Does she talk to him like that? Because her talking to them like that is no better than what they were saying to her, just for the record. And then Terror shows up, and I don't know, he eats them or something. Now, turns out he kicks them both in the face at the same time. The legs he picked up are martial art master legs. And then Monkey Wrench takes the dead body of his friend. That's apparently what they wanted all along. I had no idea they were just after a dead body.
Yeah.
Wolverine's coming after him. His costume is torn in super weird ways.
Yeah.
And once again, he proves he has really bad reflexes for somebody with superhuman reflexes.
Yeah.
He gets a stake just dug right into his chest. That's a good splash page, though.
Yeah.
But now, Jubilee and Terror are left wondering, how the hell is Wolverine going to get this explosive stake out of his chest? And I'm wondering, where the hell is the bomb hidden in this explosive stake?
Yeah. How does it trigger?
I don't know. I would assume that him hammering it with his sledgehammer activated some sort of trigger. But if that's the case, why didn't it explode right away? I guess it's on like a time release? I don't know. Out of everything in the comic, though, that the explosive stakes are what make me the most curious.
Also, shouldn't you just be able, I don't know.
Rip it out?
Yeah, rip it out, tell them to get out of there before he does it.
Yeah.
So that, like, he can blow up but heal.
Well, that's probably what happens in the next issue. We take a look at it, but I don't own it. Maybe I'll find it in 50-cent bins. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right, let's go make some comics. We didn't create the comics that were featured in today's episode, but we did create these. Check out Ghost Assassin in the Cards and the Chihuahua Who Flew Away mini comic, both of which were written by me. The Chihuahua Who Flew Away was illustrated
by me.